Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
If you're a lineman in charge of keeping the lights on, Grainger understands that you go to great lengths and sometimes heights to ensure the power is always flowing, which is why you can count on Grainger for professional-grade products and next-day delivery, so you have everything you need to get the job done. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Lowe's knows how to help you save. This July 4th, get up to 40% off select Maytag laundry appliances. Plus, get an additional 10% off when you buy 2 or 3 select major appliances. And when you buy 4 or more, you'll save an additional 20%. Find the right appliances and features that fit your home's unique needs and style. Shop Maytag 4th of July deals at Lowe's. Valid through 7/9. See Lowe's.com for details. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Selection varies by location.
Stop right there. Yeah, you. If you like all things entertainment, current events, or Hollywood, then look no further. Creator to Creators, hosted by director Meosha Bean of Horror Noir, interviews filmmakers and creatives from around the world. Join in on the fun, guest celebrities, and informative information to have as a creator. Hit subscribe and stay connected to Creator to Creator.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators today. Today, we have a special guest,
Mercedes Peterson.
So for those who don't know, I love her and she's a really good friend of mine, Mercedes. Thank you for blessing us and gracing us with your presence today and your beauty. You look amazing, girl. Like, what are you doing? Like, what's your secret? Like,
my secret is to just laugh a lot and not take life too seriously. Yeah. I don't drink. I don't smoke. And hopefully I'm aging backwards and I'm just probably in denial.
Benjamin Button style. I love it. Yes, you are aging backwards. Definitely. And, you know, this show's about talking to creatives and people that are super talented as yourself. Tell me a little bit about the beginning. Like, I like to go back to the beginning of like when we were started out, like when, you know, little baby Mercedes and like how, you know, what it was like growing up and getting into kind of finding a way in this crazy business of acting. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, since I was 6, I knew I wanted to be an actress, but it's funny because when I was 6, I was like, Mom, I'm going to be famous so that anything I say, people will want to do. And I will help clean up the environment and do kind things for other people.
I like that. I like that.
I mean, that's since I was 6, that was my whole goal in life. And I knew how powerful that platform was.
It's unfortunate that this industry is that, you know, having that, like, we're valued only when we are reached a certain level of success. When you've been doing this for so many years, right? Yeah. So it's like waiting for others to catch up to what you've been doing and the work that you've been putting in, which is the unfortunate part of this business. But like you said, it's constantly breaking through and continue to push through because this is a tough business. What keeps you going? Like, why do you keep doing it?
I prayed to God that he would take it away from me. I said, take this away from me. This is ridiculous. I'm not getting anywhere. I mean, I worked nonstop for the last 2-3 years, right? Like suddenly I hit the jackpot and I worked constantly and I had big roles doing costumes and wardrobe on set. And then all of a sudden it stopped. Mm-hmm. It was so weird. It's the longest gap I've ever had where I haven't worked. But I had one point in my life where I said, God, if you're not going to give me a break, then just take it away from me. Like, I don't need this in my soul. What? Yeah. Why is this so deeply embedded in me? And I kid you not, that same week, I went out and auditioned for a hosting gig just to solidify that I was not meant to be in this business.
Mhm.
And I landed it.
Of course.
And I started hosting a show. So, you know, in Arizona Sports and Lifestyle Magazine TV took me down a huge road I have not been on before that. I had not hosted a show. I had not done celebrity interviews. I had interviewed people, but not celebrities. And I had not been on that kind of platform before. And yet I found myself with, you know, dabbling in stories with Lisa Lampanelli, Jeff Ross, Terry Bradshaw. You know, it's like Joe McHale. And all of a sudden I found myself in the midst of all the things that I dreamt of becoming, because everybody wants to do this business. Why does everybody want to do this business?
You know, I think the reason is, and that's a great question, because I think the reason why a lot of people want to do this business is because it's kind of like going back when I think about high school or middle school, or just being, I don't know, like when I think about my high school years, wasn't my best. I was not the cool kid ever. I was called an Oreo. For those who know what that means, you understand. And I was made fun of for just me being who I, who I was. And so I was always doing film, and I was interested. I joined I was doing some things. I got on YouTube when I was like 16, and things started like, changing a little bit. And then, after school, I really focused on it. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, oh, you're cool. Like, so I guess it's like being a part of this cool club, or being seen, because a lot of people aren't, right? A lot of people just go through life not feeling important, or I don't know if it's validation or whatever, but I feel like it's that thing of like, oh wow, I'm somebody notices me. So I feel like that's why it resonates. Like it's like a universal feeling. Everybody wants to join like, or be in Hollywood, or it's like something, but I don't know. That's what I think.
I don't know. I was thrown in trash cans, and
Same. I feel you.
I loved my life. Like I loved my life. I was like, you know what? I'm Mercedes.
You're like, I'm that girl, okay?
I was the goofy, like everybody knew me.
Of course.
They called me the She's All That girl. And they said, if you would just go to a party and party with everybody, you'd be the most popular kid in school. Because I was the most well known. And it was because of my name. And you probably had the same thing where everybody knew your name. They didn't know what you were about probably at that point. But
yeah,
I wasn't
really cool. I was not,
I wasn't cool either. I was a dork. I still am a dork. I'm still not cool.
No, you're cool. You're cool. No, but like you're coming into yourself, so you don't really know everything about yourself. So it's like, when I was afraid to go to school. My mom had to talk to my principal to like tell him, please, about my bullies. So I would have my mom like up there all the time for me to go to class, comfortably and safely without getting beat up or taking my lunch money. Or I was like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, what is this? Like, what is wrong with people? I don't understand it. I don't know why in such a wannabe accepting society that no one accepts each other for anything. And they say, I'm offended, or you're overstepping, or all these things. It's like, how can you be offended when you're accepting?
Right. Absolutely.
That's such a weird concept to me. I feel like as a society, we've taken 10 steps backwards while they're trying to move forward. I don't know.
On a positive note, I want to know, what's one of your favorite moments on set and why?
I don't know. I've had so many. I would say every single favorite moment would have to be when I'm so deeply in character that I left that I leave the set and I didn't even know what I did.
Wow.
And then I get to watch it later on and I'm like, whoa. I've had that happen almost every single time on set. It's like, And then I just don't know what I said or did sometimes. And
It's interesting.
yeah, and I feel like that is probably my favorite part about acting, is just the fact that you are literally walking in somebody else's shoes. And I always say it's my free fall without a parachute. I don't
Mm,
know when it's going to stop, or or how I'm going to stop it. But you just let it go, and you embrace every moment, in the moment, for the moment, and suddenly magic happens. So it's just
okay.
a weird out of body kind of experience to do that. In my opinion, I sit there and I'm like, whoa,
Right.
that was weird that she did that, or she said that, or whatever. It's just weird, and it catches me off guard. But to be in that moment, to see that character just take over, and for you to not even be present in that moment,
Hmm.
that's what I live for. I i had a friend stop me, and she said, Mercedes, like, it's so weird, it's almost like you just let someone else take over. And I'm like, that's exactly what it is.
That's
I feel like I'm not
amazing.
even there.
Wow. Now, see, that's kind of scary to me. I mean, I find it amazing, but there's that other side to it where it's like with like, the Heath Ledger situation, like he lost himself in the performance of the Joker and he couldn't find his way kind of back. How do you do that? How do you separate the two and then kind of find your way back to you? What do you do?
Well, a long time ago, it was actually funny because my acting instructor caught me. Scott Arthur Allen, he died of cancer years ago, but
Sorry.
he taught Heather Locklear, and that was kind of his claim to fame with Heather Locklear, right? And he was my acting instructor, and he caught on to me really quickly that I go to these very dark places, and that I literally just like leave my soul behind and I let the other one take over.
Ooh.
He came up to me after a scene from Twilight. I was
Hmm.
doing a Twilight scene, and it was a very deep, dark Twilight scene. And he comes up to me and starts clapping in my face. You're Mercedes, you're Mercedes, you're Mercedes, after he called scene. And he brought me back so quick. He was like saying, you're Mercedes, you're Mercedes, you're Mercedes, you're Mercedes. And he goes, Mercedes, the most important thing you'll ever do as an actor is to go to those places and make sure you leave it on film and you do not take it home. That is
Mm-hmm.
part of your job. He said, you're not reliving that moment anymore. Past this moment right now, you do not take it home. And at that point in my life, I did. I would take parts of those characters home. They were more intriguing to me.
Hmm.
They had a much more interesting life than I ever lived. And he always gave me the dark, dark, dark stuff because he loved to see me cry on cue. He loved to see me go to these deep, dark places. He loved seeing what the characters would bring out of me rather
Hmm.
than me bringing out in the character.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he saw that in me, this Heath Ledger thing that I would do, where I would become very, very, very attached to my characters.
Mm-hmm.
And
Interesting.
you can't do that.
Yeah, that's the part that freaks me out. That I mean, I'm not like a seasoned actor, but the roles that I have chosen have been like because I'm afraid to go there. But I did do that um top of this year with a project that I wrote, and it was about mental illness and mental health and how serious that is. And the filmmaker friend, my partner, was like, what, whoa, where did you go? Like, he was like, when we looked at the playback, I was terrified. I was like, whoa, I look possessed. And it scared me. And I was like, it kind of it felt, for me, it felt freeing to let that go, though. Whatever
Yeah.
that is that I'm suppressing or that's in me that I don't, because I don't think I mean, it's like almost therapeutic, right? Would you say?
Yeah. I
So,
mean, it's therapeutic to the point where like you get to experience that and you realize that you're not wanting that part of your life. Because
Yeah.
I mean, in a lot of ways, we don't express ourselves in that character because that's how we feel in daily
Mhm.
life. We express ourselves in that character because we feel what they feel
Yeah.
and what they're experiencing. So thank God it's not my real life that I have to go these deep dark places, on
Yeah.
a daily.
Right. I couldn't imagine that.
It makes my life look like a cakewalk.
Right. What's your technique? Like, I know every actor has like their thing to like, get there, or like depending on the role, like as an actor, if you're okay with naming something, like just the ways that you get prepared for a role, what's your process like?
Well, it depends on, the underlining circumstances and where they came from. But I mean, to get to those really dark, deep, deep, dark places, it's funny because every single time I do it, I do heal a little bit more.
Oh, wow. If you could have a co-star that you could perform, like work with, or be on set with and do a scene with, who would it be? It could be living or dead. Who would it be and why?
Ryan Reynolds, because I would be able to meet Blake Lively. What? A threesome
Really?
on set? Yes, let's do that. Those are my kind of people. What?
Blake
They can,
Lively.
yeah, she just seems like a beautiful person. Her and Ryan Reynolds just seem like beautiful people.
Hmm.
I would love to co-star with those guys for sure.
Wow,
Hands down.
I am shocked. Dead or alive? Wow, I'm actually really shocked. Blake Lively. She's great. No, she's great. Yeah, wow, okay.
Yeah, I think that they're just a cool duo. I think what I feel like with people who are in relationships and have amazing family dynamics like that, I
Mhm.
would want to know their spouse as much as I would want to know them.
I
Like
get
that's
that.
how I function. Like if I become friends with somebody on Facebook, I actually track down their wives or their spouses or their girlfriends to be friends with them as well,
I like
because I
that.
don't want them to ever think that I'm trying to overstep in their life. I want them to realize that I respect their position. And actually, I feel like that person could never be where they are if they did not have a supportive, loving spouse, because this industry is so tough. It can either
1,000.
hold you back to have somebody like that in your life, or it can push you and propel you forward.
I but like literally go back to what you said earlier about the spouses. They wouldn't be where they are without that person, which is true, because I was watching something of Denzel Washington, and he was talking about his wife that he's been with for like, I mean, ever. They've been together forever. And he said he wouldn't survive because his wife was like literally the backbone of why he became who he is. Like when he was making no money doing the acting thing, and she was the sole breadwinner, when he was
Yeah.
doing his classes. He said it takes a strong woman to believe in, me and what my purpose is. Like, in life, and to stick around, really. So he said he wouldn't honestly be where he is without her. So yeah, you're absolutely right, 100%. Because like he's a good looking man. Could you imagine? Like, I mean, to stay focused, to have somebody cheerleading you on, and like, look, it's gonna be okay. You're gonna be there, and I don't think he would be where he is without her. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I had the opposite. I had somebody constantly holding me back and telling me not to do this, not to do that, would get jealous because of interviews with celebrities. And, like you either have someone who propels you forward or holds you back. Like there's no in between. It does one or the other. And it's important to have someone who's like, okay, if you land something, let's go do that together, or you go do it and you do your own thing and it's no big deal. Like that's the kind of support that we need in this business, because it's already hard enough. We don't need somebody telling us don't do this, or putting standards on us. You're not allowed to do sex scenes. You're not allowed to kiss another man. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that. It's like all those things in our business that are so hard already. We don't want to do those things on camera. Who wants to kiss another man on camera? Who wants to have a sex scene with another man?
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No,
But
it's
yeah,
a
whenever
nerve
you're
wracking thing.
single,
Yeah.
it's great. But if you're in a committed relationship, those scenes are hard, and you're sharing, a part of your life that only actors truly understand, that you're not there in that moment, that character is the only person that's supposed to be there. A lot of people who aren't true actors don't understand that.
Yeah.
They look forward to, I had somebody tell me they wanted to have a kissing scene with me. I said, you will never have a kissing scene with me because you literally said that to me. I was like, you are not a professional.
At all. At all. Right?
I was just
Terrible.
like,
That's
you
crazy
can't.
that you've had that before. And in this business, it's sometimes like people are so straightforward, and it's like, that's not okay. Like, what makes you think that's okay to say to me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's not. Like, isn't that common sense? But it's still to this day for me really very, very much taboo. And I mean, I had something happen on set, and I was one of the producers on set, and I was working with, I was the only lady producer, and there was other, like, the other guys were, good friends of mine. And there was a crew member that said something that was highly inappropriate. Like, I mean, it was just like, dude, you would go to jail if we were anywhere else saying that. And I had to like sit him aside, and I'm like, okay, listen, do you understand that was highly inappropriate? And I basically told another guy, the other producer guy, I was like, listen, do you want him on set? Do we actually need him? Because I feel like that's just going to make us all feel uncomfortable. And I don't want anybody coming back and trying to sue the project, because you know what I mean? People have feelings and emotions, and so we got rid of him. He's like, if you feel like we should, let's do it. I'm like, yeah, let's just do it.
You know who you are.
Yeah, you know who you are out there. But like, do better, that's all I'm saying. Just do better. Like,
the Freedom movie. What is it called? Something of Freedom.
Oh,
Sound of Freedom.
yes. Oh my God, it was so good. Oh my God, it was
Sound of Freedom. Okay, I get
oh,
to see it this weekend. I'm so excited to
babe.
see it. So I get to see like two very different genres this weekend. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna be watching The Sound of Freedom, and then I'll see Barbie. And it's like, everyone who goes and sees this movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're probably going to have 5% of people who actually open their eyes and see what's going on around them and do something about it whenever it's in the moment. Because people are so afraid of standing up for themselves, standing up for other people, so afraid of walking over other people. Even if it's the right thing to do, people are scared.
Yeah.
And it's like this controlling thing in our society where people are so used to other people dictating their life and telling them what to do with religion or work environment or government. It's so hard for people to just stop, open their eyes, take it in, and do something about it. Like, it's so hard. And so I feel like as a society with a movie like that, I just hope that it really opens people's eyes. Could you imagine making a film like that? Could you imagine having been a part of that film? Something that is like, literally, this is my whole life goal, is to be a part of something that changes yes, it's moving, and it's changing our society's viewpoint, changing our society's way of feeling. Hopefully it's not just going to change the way that they feel. Hopefully it'll change the way that they do.
Yes.
And to be a part of them, that is like what you and people dream of, making an impact on life. Like that is an impact that no one could ever duplicate. Like, it's
And
mind-boggling to me. My hope is that one day I can be a part of just really great filmmaking where it makes people feel good about being better.
yeah.
Because I make a lot of dark stuff, and I cry a lot, and or I try not to cry and be strong in those moments, but they're from a very dark place. And I love a life to choose. Like, I got to play a mom, and I lost my daughter to a school shooting.
Mm.
And when I started crying in that moment, I had been holding back, holding back, holding back. And it took her best friend hugging me to make me weak enough to give in to the darkness of this moment. And I feel like all of us need to be stronger in these things, in this life, instead of wanting to show our weakness, wanting to show that we're gonna give into these things. It's almost like everybody wants to display that they're giving into the moments because they want the attention from it.
Mm-hmm.
Like people feeling sad for them or feeling bad for them. And it's so much more impactful for us to be stronger in these very horrible moments, like with the sex trafficking. A lot of those people who made that film, could you imagine going into those scenes and doing those scenes?
Yeah.
And utilizing this real life scenario, but never having fully experienced it. So you know it's darker than what you even feel. Like dark, way darker than you can even conjure up inside, because you've never been there. This is one experience that we have only experienced through movies, unless you experienced it firsthand. We can't just go and do our research and just be in the moment for the moment at the moment and then interpret those things. Like, this is a whole different scenario. You can't just go into sex trafficking and become one of those people to experience it for yourself and to utilize that on screen. So in your mind, you know, it's a lot darker than what you're able to even interpret or to understand. So to do that scene and come off of set unscathed by a role like that, it would be nearly impossible.
Yeah.
Nearly impossible. Those are the kinds of roles that I hope to have one day, where it changes your whole life. I guarantee you a lot of those people who are part of that film came off of that film and said, I'm going to do something so much more than directing and acting, and, you know, like, take initiative and figure out a way. Like Ashton Kutcher, he's been doing this stuff forever. Like, he's been an advocate of, you know, children and against this stuff from the very beginning for years and years. And so
it's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, like, that step, it's the dream, right? To do that kind of stuff. I think for me, I always say that film is a part of my purpose, but my purpose is bigger than film, you know? So with that question, like with what I just said, do you think you found your purpose?
Oh yeah, I found my purpose. I haven't found my path.
Oh, that's good. Okay. That's good. That's real.
The path is the hard part. And it takes finding your people and surrounding yourself with those people. And then you start making movies that matter. And then suddenly your whole life takes on the meaning that you knew it had the whole time. But your purpose and your path are two very, very, very different things. And unfortunately, I have not found my path yet. I've taken several different forks in the road. I've been on those roads for a long time, done a lot of stuff, you know, taken an X road, done a lot of stuff. Great, great. But those roads were rocky. They had potholes, and I had to figure out how to maneuver those things to stay on those paths. So, you know, it's not your path, you know, because it's so hard to be on.
Yeah.
So hopefully one day my path will find me. I just keep working towards it.
That's it. That's all you can do is just you work towards it. You know, maybe there's something in you that is going to create it yourself. You never know, you know.
One would hope. I hope so.
Never know.
I hope to work under the Meosha Bean. I want to work beside my friend, and I do want to direct. I want to do the things that I have not done. I actually reached out to a casting department lead. She does a ton of casting for shows and stuff. And so hopefully, you know, I just need to expand myself. I feel like I've been kind of in a little bit of a bubble lately, and I want to expand in the film industry and come to know various different tasks and ways that people do, and learn from them. I definitely think it's time to do something new alongside of acting, but it would be very nice if the gates would, you know, fly open during this SAG shutdown. It would be so nice if the floodgates would, you know, open up and let us in. But
whoever's listening, Mercedes needs an agent in Atlanta. So
right here,
sign her.
Here, guys. Like,
you're
I'm
hilarious.
great at this, right? I got this. I got this.
You got the part. You got the part. No.
I'm telling you, I should have made it a long time ago.
Dude, you're like, you could be like, it can be like, you're like, seriously, and I'm not joking, like, you're so funny. Like,
you say this all the time. I know.
I don't know what you like. You're, come on, comedy, stand up.
I need to get into comedies. I have not done comedy. I don't know why. I don't know why.
I don't know.
I don't know why. But like, I want to do a comedy. It's weird that I haven't done a comedy, and maybe that's my niche and I don't even know it, because nobody's ever hired me to do a comedy, because I can cry on cue and I can be dark and horrible person. Like, I'm not normally a horrible person. No. And I don't go to dark places ever, but for some reason that's all I ever get.
No, you should do it. I think it's the places that we don't go are the things that are going to open itself up to us even more. Like, I'm going to do something romantic one day. I never thought I would do, but you know, I think I'm going to go there one day. I
had my first on-screen kiss just recently.
Really? How was it?
And my first ever kissing a Black guy, like, ever.
Awesome. Well, hey.
I actually don't even remember what it was like. I just remember when I came off set, everybody said, that was great. It was really natural. And I was like, I don't even know what happened.
You're like, awesome. Great. All right. Good.
I was like, I can't wait to see the footage. Like,
do you have the footage?
I don't have it yet. It's not done filming, you know, everything's shut down. So they're not done filming it. But that's actually the one where they decided that they wanted an all Black family instead of a white wife.
That's right. That part. I remember you telling me about that.
So this is the first time I've ever kissed on screen. So, you know, you're getting into, you want to do a romance, a sci-fi thriller kind of film where, you know, you think one thing is happening and then it's a totally different scenario that's happening. I'm not going to give any of it away, but I show up to set and my romantic interest is African American. It's the first time I've ever been able to have this interaction romantically. I mean, I did do a life to choose. And my boyfriend was African American, but we never were physical in any way at all. So, I mean, I cuddled with him or whatever, but I didn't even know that that was going to happen.
Oh, really?
Was,
If there was no talk about it or okay.
No.
Interesting. Okay.
We did those 3 scenes that day. And when he took the footage back to the producers, they said I was great, but why am I white? They were sold on a script where it was an all-Black family, but they gave full reign for them to choose, the director to choose the actors, the cinematography, everything, like gave him full range to choose all those things. So he chose me as the main actress, and then everybody else is like stars. Like they're pretty well known, all of them in our industry. And then I was the most unknown actress of the group. And so this was a huge thing for me. This is huge.
You're like excited. How did you feel?
Well, first of all, I think a mixed family is very powerful. They were thinking, all Black family more powerful than a mixed race family. And so they took me off the project because they were going to pull their funding because I was white. And they couldn't find a Black actress that they liked. Couldn't find her. And so they actually ended up hiring another white actress with star power instead. I felt happy for my friend who was hired. She's a beautiful person and I adore her. She's a sweetheart, and whatever roles come her way, I'm happy for her.
I'm just curious, like, you don't really hear stories like that. I mean, I've definitely been through that, from time to time again, in this business. That's why I don't really focus on acting. That's why I actually kind of stopped acting a little bit, was because of the rejection. And it feels like it's like, and I have a lot of girlfriends that I know that get parts, and I'm just like, I auditioned for that too. And then you hear from another friend of mine, theirs like, oh yeah, that's our friend auditioned and she got it. I'm like, well, that's great. I'm very happy for her. But then it makes you think like, what did I do wrong? And I don't know. You just never know. And it's not always about, I get it. They're trying to people are trying to tell stories. People want to see themselves nowadays, right? Everybody wants to see themselves. And I get it. Absolutely. Absolutely. But and I think things are changing when it comes to diversity and inclusion. But I definitely know what like the feeling of thinking like, is it just I'm not the girl, I'm not the, what
you can never think that, like, never, ever, ever, no matter how white I am the girl.
Right, you're the girl, like you're beautiful, blonde, blue eye, like just gorgeous, the symbol, right? And then I find it like incredibly hard when like that's like the truth why I stopped acting. I was like, I don't know if I can do this because this is just so when I do act, I only do roles that the director or writer or someone that's like, we want you to do this. So that's when I do it. Like, because I know I'm gonna like, you want me in there. I don't have to compete with like 1,000 girls to get this role. And I don't know, diversity it's a very interesting subject, but
it is. And you're the person that's getting hired these days. Like me being white, I am not being hired. Like I'm not exotic enough, which is really funny because it's
crazy how the tables turn. Yeah, right. It's like now everybody's feeling like, oh, this is what this. So I think honestly, it's one of those things. Like I feel like now we're all like in the same. Like we're all in the same boat. Like no one. Like now we all feel the same. Like okay, that's how you feel. Like because before this, the end thing now. Because it changes quite often, right?
It's so
This
bad.
is in, this is not in, this is in. Okay, now this is in, this is okay. And you're like, whoa.
Why can't we just have balance? Why?
Because it's about money. I think the underlying message of our business, it's all about the almighty dollar. And that is just a fact. And I think I had to come to that reality. It's not really about, business. In order to be the best businessman, you kind of have to be a douchebag. You can't be too nice because people run over you. You know what I mean? You have to play hard.
Calling them out.
That's the business.
You have to be done. Yeah, I don't know. We have a weird industry, that's for sure. I think it's contradicting. I think it's beautiful. I hope one day I can be standing next to you and we're this amazing, we're on this amazing elaborate film set that has millions of dollars poured into it and it stands for something great. And
yes,
that is my ultimate goal, is to have all my friends beside me, the people that fought so hard to be there. And it wasn't about looks. It wasn't about power. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about any of these things except for doing right by themselves and doing it in the right way of society and having never given into the sex scandals and just all the weird stuff that people do. I mean,
yeah,
I could have slept with several people who probably would have helped me launch my stupid career.
Same.
And then, it's just like that would not have, and I say stupid career because that would not have been a career that I would have been proud of.
Yeah. You can't look at yourself in the mirror after those things that you've done. I mean, I don't know how people do it, but like I always say, hey, to each is their own. If you can do that, I mean, I have friends that do, like right now that do that, to stay working. And I'm like, hey, that's you. But I just can't, because I'm trying to build an empire. But because you think about it, if you build something on a solid foundation, it's not going to crumble. But if there's holes and cracks, that it's gonna come down eventually.
Yeah, well, and then there's the other side of it too. If someone like me, okay, with my luck, I would have slept with a bunch of people and nobody would have helped me get in here.
No, stop.
Truth. Like,
no.
This is the thing. I've given myself so much to industry. I love this industry. I've lived half of my life giving myself to this place that I'm in, and it's not the place where I want to be. Of course, everybody wants to be a nonstop working actor where they have project after project after project. I have gaps between mine. Like at the very least, it was like 3 months gap between the next project. I would love to get to a point where I'm working all the time. But the reality is that life happens when you're busy making plans.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
any advice you would give to somebody that wants to get into this crazy business that we're in?
Do it your way. Don't do it their way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. It kind of boils down to that. Like, whatever you feel is right for you, then that's what's right.
When the doors do open up and you are working nonstop, like, I mean, I don't know, what is your goal? Like, what do you want from it?
What next? It's like you get to enjoy your life from then on out, doing whatever the heck you want. And it's like you've accomplished everything that you wanted in life. So what next? Is like you get to just know that you made an impact on society. I feel like life is so much bigger than I could ever even fathom. Yeah. And so that's kind of what you want. You want something that's like deeply embedded in people's souls that they relive over and over again on their daily basis, trying to understand it, trying to implement it in their lives and to really reflect on it so that they can make a difference in the world. Like that's where I hope my career begins. Like that would be amazing. have been a part of Sound of Freedom, and suddenly people knew my name, because then they know that that is where you want to be in your life. Like, you have to have things in your life that have a deeper meaning. I do want to just entertain. I think it's great. Like what Tyler Perry does, it's amazing. I love it. But he also takes on the whole other side of things. He has both facets of this life, to where he is very deep, and he has a very deep sense of who he is, where he came from, what he's doing, and what he stands for. And then he entertains on the surface, and makes people laugh without the deeper meanings. So
Yeah, no, I it's funny that you mentioned Tyler Perry, because I had a girlfriend, and we were talking on the phone recently, and she was talking about, she's like, that's what you're trying to do, like what Tyler Perry's doing, right? I'm like, not necessarily, but I respect his career. I respect what he's done, but a lot of people don't really know his movies. Like Tom Cruise. I say Tom Cruise, everyone knows from it, and it breaks racial barriers. It breaks, everyone knows him.
mm-hmm.
That's what I want to do, where it transcends, what you look like or your gender. That it's just a good movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's what Tyler Perry does off camera really well. He does do that off camera. He doesn't make movies that do that.
No.
Like Tom Cruise, man, Jerry Maguire is my thing. Like that's the movie I watched every single day when I was younger, and that it did all those things. Like, I love that movie, right? It broke the racial barriers. It broke all the all the different parts that people say hold you back from life, and then suddenly, like, you're not going to have those things hold you back. Like, that's Jerry Maguire. I love that movie because it's so extremely beautiful in the way that it depicts all these aspects of life and people putting each other in different boxes. But Tyler Perry, I feel like he didn't want to really make movies to just entertain, which is what he did, because off camera he's very deep. Deep.
I agree.
So,
I agree with
I don't know. I think if I could meet any director, I think I'd want to meet Tyler Perry and work for Tyler Perry. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Great guy.
He just seems really cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know, who would you want to work with? Who's like the ultimate, like, want to work beside? I want to have,
you're gonna laugh.
The camera, this guy telling me what to do.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. This person's dead, but Alfred Hitchcock is why I got into film originally, and I liked his format of storytelling. That you can take these, he would take these like real life situations and kind of exaggerate them, and like the what if scenarios, and it would be short. Like I remember renting one summer the Alfred Hitchcock Presents series, and it was like short films that he would make, but like an anthology. And I was like, I want to try that, and that's what kind of made me go into that world. But someone who's living, I would love to work with Roger Deakins. He's a cinematographer. He actually is, if not the best cinematographer of all time. Every time I see anything of his work, he's done Prisoners. I don't know if you've seen the one with Jake Gyllenhaal. Viola Davis is in it too. It's a drama series. He shot that. Oh God, it's so many. He's done Sicario.
What makes him so great? What makes him so great?
He understands that cinema and cinematography is a language, that every frame is almost, it's like an emotion. It's like I know why he shot this way. Like there is an intention behind it. It wasn't just pointing a camera and shoot, just for the effect. Yeah. There's a purpose behind the reason of why he shoots, even down to his lighting is absolutely phenomenal. And even oh God, what's the movie called with Tom Cruise? and Nicole Kidman's film back in the day. I don't know if you've seen it, Eyes Wide Shut, Stanley Kubrick's film. When Stanley Kubrick is dead now, but he was one of my favorite directors as well, cinematographers. He was a really great director. He understood, and that's why I think those are my favorite that I will want to work with. Like they understood on another, like, I don't know, it's not this earthly level of understanding. It's like some other, they tapped into some other source of understanding of like cinema, um, that I appreciate. And I want to be that, person, because I think that you can change people's perception and just how they feel, like, soundtracks. Like if you think about soundtracks, like if the soundtrack, Inceptions, right, it was it's a phenomenal soundtrack. In Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey, a fantastic soundtrack, right? These I think these people are just tapping into a different source, and I want I want to get to that level, and I think that it just takes going against the grain, unorthodox, like that goes against the grain, that kind of do their own thing and create a different type of thing, and you're like, whoa, that just hits different. And I don't know, I want to get to that point. I want to definitely work with him.
The fact that you could even like see, most people just watch a movie and they're like, wow, that was great. They don't know why it was great, right? But you, because you have the eye, and sometimes I do, it's not all the time, but sometimes I'm like, okay, that camera angle, the way that they brought it in slowly and backed it out slowly,
Yes.
like, and that B-roll that led into that shot, like beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Like, like you see that, and that's the thing, like that's what makes you a great director, and it also makes you an even better actor, because you know exactly what to feed that camera when you know what's going to be seen behind that camera.
Yeah,
Makes you better. And that's the thing I love about different aspects of different people on film sets, and you get to see all the different ways that people see things, because we all see things very differently.
yeah.
And it affects us differently. So it's like,
Let's create something.
I know we need to do that. We need to do that. We've been talking
I mean,
about that.
we're starting with this podcast. You're coming, and guys, if you haven't heard Mercedes coming on the first, like you've been on a few, like actually a couple years ago. So
Yeah.
make sure you go back and listen to that one. But yes, we should totally create something. I don't know what, but I'm just putting it out there in the
In the
ether.
universe.
Yeah, it's out there.
Catch it. Like, somebody
Okay.
grab a glove, because it has not been caught yet. What is going on? What is happening?
I love you,
Yeah.
and I wish you all the best. And honestly, with all the things that are, that are going on, and then just what we talked about, just our great conversation. I hope people walk away with something, with like, just, what, do it yourself, and if anything, just don't live your life for people. Like, just go out and create. At the end of the day, that's the bottom line. Like, I could leave with people, but like, I love you, and I know you're gonna kill it, and you're doing it. And I think sometimes life does, we do have these stops in our moments, like, cause I've been there. I've been moments of like, I was like, what's going on? Like, you go from go, 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 work, 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 to like, oh my God, 8 months later, I'm out of work. Where's my money? Where's the money coming at? I gotta pay bills. I got a life,
Yeah.
and so, but you are an amazing woman. And when I first met you, I knew then that, we were going to do something, and we were going to be friends. Like immediately I felt that when I first met you on that red carpet years ago. And I know you have such a great path, and you will figure that out. And that's just a beautiful thing. You just, yeah, it's not, yeah, you're gonna kill it. And I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan.
Aw, thank you. I'm a big fan of you too, Meosha, and I admire everything that you've done and do and
Thank you.
continue to. spread your wings and fly. Like, that's the most important part about this business, is never, ever, ever let your wings drop. If you don't stop moving, you're never, ever, ever lost in that part of your life. So don't get lost. Just keep moving and keep trekking along and finding your path over and over again. I've had to do that because I was packed up and moved everywhere, and I had to restart and restart and restart. And now that I've placed roots somewhere and I don't have to restart and I got divorced, you would think that everything would be going great.
I mean, right?
But
Life is
you
interesting.
restart your life over and over again.
True.
And I think life just works in mysterious ways, and we have to trust it. As much as we have to keep trekking and we keep doing the things that we love, we have to keep moving. So if you guys are looking for an actress, a
Yes.
costumer, go online, find me Mercedes Peterson or the Mercedes Life. I am everywhere you can find me. And just remember, just because this moment isn't how you pictured it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It too can be right. So
Yeah. Love that. Thank you so much for your time. I love you. Thank you guys for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.